I just got back from seeing The Meg, and I'll have your non-spoiler review right after this. Hi folks, welcome back to Pop Up Fizzle. I'm Jeff. Normally I'm joined by my wife Heidi for these, but she had to work tonight. She wasn't able to go to the movie with me. So this is going to be my non-spoiler review for the movie The Meg. Now, if you're not familiar with The Meg, it is based on a novel by the same name. And I am not familiar with that novel, so I cannot speak to whether or not this is a good adaptation of that book. I can only tell you what I thought about the movie. Going into this, please keep in mind, I'm not a critic in the sense that I don't have a critical eye. I'm not a filmmaker. I don't look at all those aspects. Now, I love film, and I'm the guy that trolls through all of the Blu-ray special features. I watch all the behind the scenes. I listen to the director commentaries. I do all that stuff because I'm fascinated by the process. But I don't feel like I know the process well enough to really have a critical eye. So, if that's what you're looking for, you'll find that in plenty of other places on YouTube and elsewhere. But really, Heidi and I started this channel for fun. So the way that we look at films is just whether or not we enjoyed seeing them and whether or not we recommend that anyone else see them. It's really that simple. So that's how I'm going to approach this review as well. And this is a non-spoiler review. There won't be any spoiler discussion afterwards or in a separate video. This is just a really quick non-spoiler review. So I saw The Meg on IMAX this evening, thanks to the new AMC Stubs A-List, not a sponsor, but I did use that to get into the IMAX theater, and I saw I think it was the 10:15 p.m. show. Sorry, it's been a long day. It's about 2:44, so I've had time, a.m., I've had time to let it settle since then. And I'm just going to give you my straight-ahead thoughts. Again, no spoilers, so don't worry about that. The Meg, as I'm sure you know from seeing the numerous trailers that have dropped, is a Meg is short for megalodon, which is a giant shark, prehistoric shark, and we get all of that in the trailer. So we know going into this what kind of movie it's going to be. I think it would be hard for any movie like The Meg not to draw comparisons to Jaws, because Jaws really set that standard. There were no real, shark attack films before Jaws, and Jaws was done so spectacularly well that it really became the banner by which all other shark films, and really even films like the Piranhas and those sorts of things, they're held up to that standard to see how they compare. And I don't think that's unfair in this case. Nothing is ever going to be Jaws. It was a very original thing in a time when it really could stand out for its originality. But, everything else that comes after it is always just going to have that comparison. So that's fine. I didn't go into this film expecting it to be Jaws by any far stretch of the imagination. But I did expect to go in and spend a couple of hours enjoying, some chaos and shark attacks and giant spectacle of this prehistoric beast. And really that's kind of what they sold us on in the trailer. And I think Heidi and I did a trailer reaction for that. If we did, I'm pretty sure we did. If we did, I'll put that link in the description below. But yeah, so I went into this just hoping to have a good, fun theater experience, kick back with a big drink and just enjoy the movie. And really that's what happened. Jason Statham has never been a favorite of mine, but he's also not somebody that I shy away from. He's serviceable in just about everything I've ever seen. I don't think he's ever going to win an Oscar or anything like that, but who really cares about that? Really what you care about is the story and whether or not the actor or actress in those roles can serve that story. And I felt like everybody in this was fairly serviceable. I'm not used to seeing Rainn Wilson on the big screen. I thought he was fine. In this, I thought Statham was fine. I thought Li Bingbing was fine. I thought everybody did a fine job. So nobody threw me out. And really, those are usually the big problems if you've got a movie that doesn't work because of character stuff. It's usually because someone's interpretation of the character really throws you out of the movie. Now, not having any perspective on the book and how true in tone this adaptation is, maybe some of these characters aren't even in the book. Maybe some of them are really different than they are in the book. I can't really speak to that. If you have read the book and have seen the movie, then you can comment and let us know. Just make sure you use a spoiler tag if you're going to say anything spoilery down there. But no, I just went in expecting to have a fun ride, and that's what I got. You know, I love horror films. I don't shy away from gore or anything, but there were a few times in this film where I felt myself, you know, knowing that something bad was coming, kind of looking away from the screen. And I think some of it is that I'm just not a guy that's ever going to feel comfortable out on the ocean. I just don't. You know, to me, that's their world, and we have the land, so more power to them. I'm going to stay out of that domain. But that's just me. And, you know, so for me, that sort of danger or whatever would be more frightening to me to some extent in a more personal way than say, you know, a hatchet killer or another horror movie trope of some kind. Those things just don't frighten me as much. So yeah, a few times I felt myself kind of cringing away. Not spectacularly gory, but still, you know, like I said, fairly cringeworthy when you could see some horrible things on the horizon. You know, I felt myself looking away a time or two. Now, I did see this on IMAX, and so, you know, when you see a film in IMAX, the question is, did it need to be shown on IMAX? Do you think you got more enjoyment out of it for it being in IMAX? I don't know enough about this film to know whether any of it was filmed for IMAX or whether it was converted afterwards or it was not in 3D. So I would assume, just because of the aspect ratio and everything, that maybe it was filmed partially for IMAX, but I couldn't tell you to be sure. I can tell you that because of the nature of some of the spectacle in this film, that I think IMAX helped quite a bit. It felt more immersive, felt more immediate. Made me feel like I was more in the middle of the danger. So for me, it worked. I don't think you'd have to see it in IMAX by any far stretch of the imagination, but I think it served it pretty well. You know, the way that we kind of look at things on this channel, we rate things based on whether they fizzle, on whether they pop, or whether they're a double pop. Fizzle just means don't bother, don't waste your time or your money. A single pop is, yeah, see the movie, but you don't need to rush out and see it in the theater, catch it on streaming or Netflix or something. Not a sponsor. And then a double pop is, yeah, rush out right now, go see it in the theater, you won't regret it. Throw back some popcorn and a large drink and enjoy yourself. So I've been thinking about this since I left the movie theater, about where I would land on that sort of rating. And I think due to the fact that I had to spend so much time thinking about it, I don't think I can give it the full double pop. I think for me it's a pop. It's an enjoyable movie. It's a movie worth seeing. And certainly if you don't have a big flat screen television, which most of us do these days, but if you don't, then maybe it's worth the extra money to go and see it on the big screen. But for me, you know, it's not a movie that I feel comfortable saying just rush out right now and grab a big popcorn and go and see it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good way to spend a couple of hours and enjoy myself. I thought all the acting was fine, as I said, and I thought the story itself was decent. Nothing that stood out, but nothing that would have earned it like a fizzle or anything either. So I think I'm going to land somewhere in the middle. It's just going to be a pop for me. But I did have a good time, so, you know, take that as you will. Your mileage may vary. If you've seen The Meg already and you liked it better than I did, then be sure and comment below what you liked about it. If you saw it and didn't care for it at all, you can tell me that too. And if you haven't seen it yet, then hopefully, you know, I haven't spoiled anything. We didn't talk about anything here that that you wouldn't have seen in the trailers themselves. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I'm anxious to hear yours. And if you like this video, be sure and hit that thumbs up button. That helps us out. And if you're not subscribed, you can do that as well and share the video with your friends and family and enemies and whoever else you'd care to share it with. We always appreciate that too. Got some more things coming up in the coming week, I think. Our kids are going back to school, so it's going to be a little bit crazy around here, but we'll try to get some fresh content up within the next few days. Until next time, folks, bye.